Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought it'd be really fun to do a how I used to do my makeup video. And I think I'm gonna do 3 parts to it because I went through some really strange but super awesome fads. I was really into doing my makeup like super crazy. For those of you who knew me when I was kind of a teenager, I did a lot of goth makeup. I was super goth for like majority of my teenage years and into my early 20s. It was only until, well, some days, let's be honest, I kind of still am goth. Let's be, completely honest there. So anyways, so today I'm going to go through my middle school makeup routine. Middle school is when I actually first started wearing makeup. And for those of you who are super young, get this. When I started wearing makeup, there wasn't anything like YouTube. In fact, there wasn't even anything occurred to me to look on the internet how to do my makeup. And a little background for you. My mom is highly allergic to almost all eye makeup, so she offered no help because she literally did not know how to do makeup. So the advice that she did give me when I was 13 was super dated, probably from 1970. So I really had no help. All I had was like some online inspirations and, some Clinique makeup from last season because my mom was super into Clinique. And whenever she bought her foundation, they'd always give her like a ton of like little tester products, and then that's what I had for makeup. She would just kind of give them to me and be like, well, I can't wear eye makeup, so here you go. So I was left with all those really terrible small little eyeshadows that were just horrible, and they didn't even have a brush, so I was using my finger. And then sometimes I would use a Q-tip. I'm going to remove this face here, and we're gonna get started. So for those of you guys who know me or know how old I am, basically when I was 13, I was really into Slipknot, his Infernal Majesty. I was really into the Birthday Massacre, just like a ton of weird, interesting like Snake River Conspiracy, lots of interesting music, but also I listened to normal music too. Like I listened to Maroon 5, that was really in when I was 13. When I first started wearing makeup, I actually didn't wear it because my friends were wearing it. I didn't have any other inspirations. My only inspiration to wear makeup was basically when I started really becoming an online fanatic. I met all these people from the UK, and they were a lot older than me. They were probably like 16, and they were just like really fun girls that I just met like on like a Neopet site or whatever. Anyways, when I started to see pictures of them, they were super punk and goth, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And here I am, super innocent. I was just like 13, and I didn't wear any makeup. I wore like my mom's old clothes because we wore the same size. So literally I just wore my mom's clothes because she was like super hip, and I didn't know anything about fashion, so I thought my mom was cool, so I just wore her clothes. So yeah, I get that. I wore my mom's clothes. Anyways, so when I started kind of being friends with these people, or these like girls, I watched their fashion. I was like, man, like they are something else. Like that's really cool. It never occurred to me that I could actually express myself through fashion and through makeup and through the way I looked. I always depended on art to do that for me. I didn't realize that there's an expression aspect to the way you looked. I always thought it was dependent on what you did, like what you produced. I was an avid drawer. I was always creating. I was always writing really weird books, and I was just always into my own head. I really lived in a fantasy world. It was just kind of interesting. So when I started meeting these people, I got super inspired that I was like, wow, I don't actually have to show myself strictly through that art. I can actually wear my art. I can express myself through how I look. And that's kind of started a trend. And then that was in grade 7, and then grade 8 I went to school. I just started, and I got all these super cool like in-style clothes from my mom, like Roxy and Hurley. That was really in when I was like 13, and I was just going into grade 8. And anyways, I watched all these girls. They came in and they were super punk. I was like, wow, over the summer they really changed. They went from being like super preppy to like super punk. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is the prettiest, the coolest thing. I just want to be like them. That's amazing. So I I first started out, I asked my mom for Christmas, I remember this. I asked my mom for Christmas if she would buy me punk stuff, and she was like, well, what's punk stuff? And it was like, I wanted spiky like bracelets and spiky necklaces, and I wanted spiky earrings, and she kind of looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, kid, what are you doing? Like, really? And then I also said, I really want to learn how to do my makeup. And do you have any makeup that I could have? And before that, my only real interaction was with makeup is if I had like a zit or something, I'd cover it up. But like I only had my mom's makeup to use. Like, get this, my mom is about 5 or 6 shades darker than me, but yeah, I would still use her makeup. So I ended up looking like I had all these dark spots all over myself. So anyways, that was my only interaction with makeup. But when I wanted to actually start working with like eye makeup and stuff, I had nothing. So she literally just kind of started collecting these Clinique things and like giving them to me, and that's all I had to use. So what I used to use, and I don't have any of it now, obviously this is a very long time ago. If I'm older than YouTube, obviously it's a very long time ago. But I had a bunch of shimmery eyeshadows, like just disgusting shimmery eyeshadows. I'm taking just like my Z palette of all my shimmers, and I'm going to be copying this look for you guys. So as we can see, like, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I had my brows microbladed, and this is something that I don't really want to share with you guys, but I'm going to anyways. So when I was younger, like when I was 13, I actually didn't know anything about eyebrows, but I thought that this part here shouldn't have grown in. I thought that they were very straight. Obviously I pluck in here to create the curve, but they were very straight like this. And I didn't like how hair grew up here, so I used to actually pluck it off. So my eyebrows were super straight like this. So obviously I can't do that today, but I am going to lighten it with some foundation. Also, I didn't have any idea what primer was. I didn't have any idea about brushes. So I'm going to be trying to mimic the look as close as I can. You guys are going to laugh. Just bear with me. But yeah, this is how I started off doing my makeup. The idea was I wanted to look as goth as possible. So what I would do is I would take the darkest color in a Clinique palette, and usually it wasn't even that dark. So it would be like something like this one here, like just that one. And what I would do, and I usually would take one of those sponge Q-tip things, but I'm having those, so I'm gonna just use this really dense brush. I literally did this. Right there, and I took it up super high. I went like about there, and then I did this too. I just kind of tried to make it as dark as possible. That was kind of like, I thought that was really cool. We're gonna do the other eye. So you guys gotta remember, like, I have really good eyebrows right now, so imagine like if it was like this. It's like, yeah, that was super awesome. And I'm not gonna lie, this actually looks a million times better from when I did it when I was a kid. Is I would take like, they usually came in really disgusting quads, those like Clinique old-fashioned like colors. There'd always be like a really random color, like a purple or a shimmery green, and I was like, yeah, that's super goth, I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna take this purple here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put it all over my lid, just like that. And I had no idea what blending was. And get this, like after wearing this for like 8 hours at school, it went everywhere. Like it went like, woo, in my little creases. Oh yeah, just beautiful. So I thought that'd be really cool. And now I didn't actually know what eyeliner was for or why people did it. And when I asked my mom, she told me that it was to basically just like darken. And she goes, yeah, and you only go under here when it's set for a night look. But I was like, well, I want to look like the night, because I was super goth. So I would take my pencil eyeliner and I literally would just circular around my eye. So I don't have any pencil eyeliners with me. I like stopped buying them millions of years ago. So I'm just gonna go with the gel pot and pretend it's a pencil eyeliner. The one that was the best, the one that was the, you know, prime choice for everybody back when I was 13 was the Wet n Wild that had the sparkles in it. And yeah, everybody I knew used that. We all had the exact same one and we all shared it. Don't share your makeup. But we all would share it. We'd all go to the bathroom and like fix up our eyeliner during like spares and stuff. Oh, it was just gnarly. But that's what we... And I couldn't get too close. I didn't have really good eye-hand coordination for my makeup. So I really went super high, like this. And then what I would do, my cousin taught me this actually when I was like, she was the only one that offered any help. But she's like, you have to go up super straight, like this. And that's gonna really open up your eye. And then you're gonna take it and you're gonna go under here. And really just darken that right up. Oh god, this looks atrocious. That's how I would do it. And that was kind of just my life, like that. And like I said, this is actually like a million times better because the products I'm using are really good. But think like, you know, a 13-year-old doing this who's never done their makeup before. Oh yeah, just lovely. And if it got like everywhere, it didn't even matter. I'd be like, yeah, the more black, the better. I remember there was one time I went into the principal's office and they asked me if I had a black eye. Yeah, I was like, no, it's just my makeup. I also never wore mascara because I didn't have any, because my mom always threw mascara out because she was so paranoid of getting eye infections and me getting eye infections that we never had mascara in the house. So I never used it. So it was something that was really new to me. I think I started using mascara when I was 15 or 16, but before that, I never wore mascara. Yeah, I would try to almost cover the entire top of the eye with this black. Like just really raccoon it out. When people say like raccoon eyes were a thing, like they really were. And like the higher you could go, the better. And I became really obsessed with makeup too, because I remember like I'd go camping and I would do my makeup every day in my mom's car. And she'd be like, what are you doing? Like, why are you wearing makeup? And I'd be like, don't talk to me, I'm depressed. I'm a goth. My mom never chose to acknowledge me as a goth though. She quite liked the term baby goth because I wasn't like committed fully to the actual goth life. So I was a baby goth. I was like kind of cute still, kind of still like to smile sometimes. So she called me the baby goth and I hated it, especially when I was trying to be like seen serious as a goth, you know? So for a long time, so this is how my makeup would look, and I'd always wear this hat, but I had a hat that had cat ears on it, and this is before cat ears were super cool, okay guys? I'm pretty sure I started this trend because when I was 13, or 14, sorry, I got my mom to make me a hat that had cat ears on it, and I wore it everywhere. And everybody was like, wow, she's so weird, she wears like cat ears. And I'd wear my makeup like this, and I'd wear like a black toque, like this. And this is my makeup look. Yeah. One thing that I did do is that my auntie came down one time and she brought all these lipsticks she no longer wore, and one of them was like this gnarly dark red, and I was like, that's my lipstick color that's closest to it, because I thought in my eye it looked like purple and I really wanted a purple lipstick. So this is the color it was, and I wore this all the time. And I didn't wear any skin makeup because at the time I didn't have any, and I realized that my mom's skin makeup was far too dark for me and it made me look a little weird. And plus, the goal of this was to look as pale as possible, so to put a dark foundation on made no sense to me. So I wore no skin makeup. I literally just wore these eyes and this dark lipstick. So this basically would have been the coolest thing when I was 13. This is what I wanted to look like. And I actually had really dark red hair. I was too chicken to do any other color. Plus, get this guys, and like I'm serious, get this. You could not buy any weird color dye in the store. And then one time when I was 12, I wanted blue hair. I remember, so I went to a salon and my mom thought I was just getting like a haircut. And I asked the lady, can you make my hair blue? And she's like, she looked at me like I was on drugs. She's like, blue hair dye? Yeah, no, we don't have that. Blue hair dye? No, it doesn't exist. So fast forward to 2018, you can literally get any color of hair dye and you can get it at the drugstore. But when I was 13, you could not get any colored hair dye. You got just normal colors. And because I was too chicken to actually go full on black, I went like the dark red. And I actually had a pixie cut. Like my hair kind of came out like this underneath the tube, and it wasn't pink, it was a dark red. So there we go. Kind of came out like this because it was all flippy out. I kind of like tried to like wear makeup or hair like Josie and the Pussycats because that movie came out and I really liked that hairstyle. So I always wear my hair like this, and I wore a black tooth with cat ears on it, and I dressed like super goth. As I started to kind of get more and more into makeup, I started wearing like, yeah, like more sparkles and things. But basically this is kind of where it ended. And I remember that when I wanted to buy foundation, I asked my mom, can I get myself foundation because I want to cover up some acne and some zits. So she took me to Zellers, which, you know, back in the day we had Zellers. And she's like, well, okay, pick a foundation. She had no idea. I had no idea. So we're going through the foundations, and I just wanted a powder foundation because that's what my mom wore, and I had no idea about liquid. So I had this powder foundation, and I'm like, well, how do I know what color it is? Because it was all enclosed in a package. And she goes, I don't know, just look at the name. So the name was like Alabaster White, and I was like, yeah, I'm Alabaster White, so I'm gonna buy this. And literally the foundation was white, like the powder foundation, which I loved because it made me look extra goth with the lightest that I've got in powder. And I didn't even use like a brush, you guys. I used like the little cotton pad that came underneath, and I'm pretty sure the color that I used was like a CoverGirl one. But this is how I put the foundation on. I just kind of like took it and I slid it all over my face. So I would probably be listening to, I really liked Iron Maiden. So I listened to Iron Maiden, I listened to him, I would listen to Slipknot, a lot of Linkin Park. That's actually one of the biggest ones I loved was Linkin Park. And yeah, like I listened to just a buttload of different kinds of what I considered heavy goth music, like Evanescence and stuff like that was super in. And this is how I wear my makeup every day. And I went to school and people would be like laughing at me. They'd be like, oh my god, like why is your lipstick so dark, and why are your eyes, like, do your eyes like, you know, are they like dark and bruised? And yeah, I was like, no, this is how I am. This is just who I am as a person. So I lived in this makeup from 13 to 14, and it wasn't until actually like, I think my stepmom kind of put mercy on me or something, and one day she sat down and she goes, hey, you really like makeup, right? And I was like, yeah, I love makeup. And she goes, I have this book for you, I want you to read it. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I read it, and it was Kevin Aucoin's Making Faces. And that literally changed my life. That is when I decided that I was actually like, you know, going to invest in like better products. And it really, the book inspired me to do makeup better and like take it to the next level. So after I purchased, or after I read that book and I showed it to all my friends, I'm like, look at what this guy can do, and look at this thing called contouring, and look at this thing called highlighting. And this was before contour highlighting really made the big screen. I was only like 14 at the time. So I was super excited to tell all my friends, oh my god, this thing called contouring and highlighting, like it's a real thing, and it can like change the shape of your face and all this other stuff. And my friends were like, yeah, okay, you know, they were like, whatever, we like our weird, you know, goth makeup. Or a lot of my friends didn't even wear makeup at the time. I was one of the ones that was really progressive, so I wore just like makeup, and this is how I wore it, and I show up to people's houses, and it's like, you know, but yeah, that's when I, you know, actually purchased like good quality eyeshadows, and the only place I knew good quality eyeshadows from was MAC. This was like back in 2004. And my stepmom brought me to MAC, and I was like, wow, I really like the eyeshadows, but all I knew was the color pink. So all my eyeshadows were pink. Maybe that's when the obsession started, was when the like, you know, I bought all these pink eyeshadows. So in the next vlog, I'm going to show you guys how I started to do my makeup somewhat a little bit better, and that's when I started going to high school. So I changed up my makeup game just a little bit. Yeah, and it was kind of, thanks for watching my middle school makeup. It's a little more minimal, but you wait, it's gonna get a lot more crazy.